I've got one of these Surface Laptop 3s coming in. Will, you didn't know that. See, I caught you off guard. You didn't know that.
Oh, it's coming right now. All right.
What's coming?
Surface Laptop 3.
Yeah, I got it coming.
Okay. All right.
Do you have it coming?
No.
Okay, say I got it coming this time.
Okay.
So just to be clear,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm in the background
Yeah.
making moves. It's not just Willie Doo. He's not the only one making moves around here. Yeah. I decided to get ahead of the curve a little bit and actually order a very specific specification because I want to make sure it was the exact one that I wanted to examine and compare. Because I'm talking a lot recently about trying to nail down the perfect laptop. It's a real mission of mine. That's all you can do. You try them out. You see from your point of view. You know what you're looking for, what you like and don't like, and most importantly, how you use it, what you expect of it.
Right.
And so I bounced around different laptops, different sizes. I was using 13, 14-inch laptops for a long time. Then I started to enjoy the benefits of a larger display, 15-inch. I've been really enjoying using this one on the desk right now. I've made the video recently. It's the new Thinkpad X1 Extreme Gen 2. And this is with the OLED display, 4K. Very expensive, though. And it's got, it probably has too much horsepower for what I do on the daily. It's kind of nice to have that extra headroom. This one in front of me here, it's got dedicated graphics. It's got an i9 processor, a 9880H. Like, this is all top-tier stuff, which is great. Good to have. And still somewhat lightweight. And I'm looking at the marketplace thinking, okay, what can come in and contend? And under what premise? What am I going to give up? What am I going to get? So when I saw the announcement for the Surface Laptop 3, I was immediately interested because it was a thin and light 15-inch laptop. Now, it's really easy to find thin and light laptops that are 13 inches. There's plenty of Ultrabooks. There's there's just so much selection. But once you get up to 15-inch laptops, frequently what ends up happening is they become rammed with specs and horsepower.
For the pro user.
For the pro user, it becomes either a workstation or a gaming laptop, pretty much, at 15 inches. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. But Microsoft went a different way with it. Now, I'm not saying that the Surface Laptop 3 isn't powerful. It is, but it looks like the emphasis is on portability and Ultrabook characteristics. So, I don't know, maybe you can bring up the specs, maybe you can bring up the weight on it, which is most interesting to me. And of course, it's very thin as well. But I believe the weight is coming in at around 3.5 pounds. Now, my particular specification of the X1 Extreme here is closer to 4 pounds. I know we're nitpicking now. It's what, sometimes it's what you do. But this thing's going to be lighter than a MacBook Pro. Maybe Will's got the spec here. It's very important. We got to nail the exact characteristics. 3.4 pounds for the 15-inch. Platinum and matte black. That's very lightweight for a 15-inch laptop. And Microsoft claims it's going to be the most powerful in its class. Who knows what class that is? Apparently, there are other 15-inch thin and lights out there. Microsoft thinks theirs will be more powerful than those. Certainly not more powerful than this laptop sitting in front of me. As I mentioned, i9, dedicated graphics, and so forth. And we got all those Razer Blade laptops that even have graphics beyond that. But for the day-to-day, when you're sitting on the couch, sitting on a chair, you're catching up on the email, you're living your life as you would. Guy like you. You live a life.
Do I?
See?
Yes.
And then you start to notice things about laptops. Then you start to get real personal with them, Will. You start to notice if they get a little hot. You start to notice if they growl a little bit at you.
The nuance of things, right?
You start to notice things.
Yep.
And that's where you start to get excited about the potential for a thin and light with an emphasis on other attributes, which is what Microsoft aimed at. So that got me a bit pumped up, so much so that I wanted to make sure I had the exact spec I was looking for coming in. So the one that I decided to order, if you go to the configure now, and I will say the configuration tool is a bit strange because of how it's all laid out. But I picked the 15-inch, not in black. believe it or not. And I'll tell you why right now. The black aluminum, and I have the 13-inch Surface laptop sitting somewhere here, and various Razer products that have matte black aluminum. The fingerprints, it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
At times. It shows smudges. It's just the nature of the thing. I love the idea of it being all black, but they got to figure out a way, maybe go not quite so dark, or come up with some other type of fit. I don't know what they're going to do. But anyway, so I went for the one on the far right there. That's the one. I believe they call it platinum metal. Okay, so it still has the black bezel around the display, but platinum metal. Oh, also, I almost forgot. It has an unusual aspect ratio, which brings your line of sight a little higher.
Yeah, it's taller.
It's a taller display as well, aimed at productivity tasks.
Is it 4x3?
4x3, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Or is it 3x2?
Oh.
Well, how do they? I don't know how they say it. It's a taller screen. It's more of a square, less of a rectangle. Anyhow. The one that I got is, if you scroll down, so for the record, this thing starts at $1,000, but by the time you're into the 15-inch, you go to $1,200. Oh, you don't see the one that I ordered actually on there. Oh, you're on the US store. They must have, oh, there, that's the one. Yeah, you got it.
This one right here?
That's the one, you got it.
Yeah, you can't select it.
No, that's not the one I got. That one's insane. That's the 13.5
the one
with the i7.
Select.
Yeah, that's the one I got right there. Okay, so 15-inch platinum metal. It has this Ryzen collab that they worked on with AMD, 3780U, 16 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigs of storage. After that, it gets more expensive. I actually think the Canadian online store had a few more options than this, but that's the one that I got. So it's the upgraded chip, but you get to around $2,000. So it's not cheap. It's not the value point. They've added some things to it. It now has USB Type-C, which is nice. It still doesn't have the versatility of ports that this one does. It's still lacking a lot as a workstation, but as a couch situation for people that are mostly into productivity tasks, email, web browsing, and so forth, it could be a really interesting 15-inch computer. But it doesn't have an SD card slot. I mean, this thing has 2 Thunderbolt 3s. I mean, a full-size HDMI out port. We're not in that territory, but nonetheless, I'm excited to check it out. It comes on the 22nd of October. So I'm just keeping everybody in the loop. That's all it is. But for me, it's pretty exciting. I'm into laptops. What can I say?